Hello, tutor and classmates. This is Dani Leonardo Garcia from the subgroup 54 in the course Technology in Foreign Language Teaching. And in today's video, I am going to present you my lesson plan, including the flipped classroom methodology and the task-based intercultural learning approach. So firstly, the general information. The age is for young adults from 18 to 30 years old, more or less. The English level is B1 intermediate. The educational setting is online language community scenario or any other virtual scenario like the one that I used for this lesson plan, that which was Google Meet. The main target skills is reading, writing, and listening. So they are the three communicative skills that I included in the development of the lesson plan. The topic, daily routines and school days in other countries. I consider that this topic fits really, really well with this teaching approach because it contains a strong part related to intercultural connection and recognition and also reflection. So the learning objective is that in a 120-minute session, students will be able to identify and compare at least three different cultural educational practices and daily routines by analyzing the multimedia content and completing a comparative writing task with a minimum of 70% accuracy using present simple and comparative structures. After that, the learning outcome is that by the end of the lesson, students will be able to reflect on the diversity of the global routines critically and express meaningful comparisons between international contexts and their own lives. Firstly, I decided to start with a particular introduction that I would like to share with you. So, daily routines could seem mundane or trite, but in this occasion, this class focuses on cultural values and the way people carry out their routines, focusing on students as well. Therefore, this lesson explores the diverse realities of daily life and education around the world. By analyzing school days and routines, students can and could enhance their language acquisition to intercultural awareness, understanding how societal values shape the lives of people in different continents. Also, I decided to include a particular scheme. Actually, it is very similar to the model that the course director used in the web conference. So each part is divided into two. On the left, we have the information and the material, the description of the activities, and on the right, we have the images and the resources, the description of them too. Also, all the images and resources are cited using the APA Standards 7 edition, as you can see here, with the name, the number of the resource or the image, the title, the image, and the note with the reference. So firstly, I would like to start with the pre-task flipped classroom activities. I decided to include a particular learning management system. In this case, it was Google Classroom. It was very useful for me, and the access of it is in this link. The objective was to introduce the topic, activate prior knowledge, and explore vocabulary and grammar independently before the online session that we had. Also, let's analyze the independent activities, which were three. The following activities will be considered as crucial and necessary for the online session, and they gave them some extra points. So the first one was a watch and map. Students had to watch a video to complete a culture map on a shared PowerPoint presentation. So each student had to create only one slide about a country which is described in the video. So that is the resource too, actually. It's a video whose name is School Days Around the World. This is the access link, and this is an image from it. The second activity was vocabulary discovery. So students had to identify five particular words from the video and they had to define it in the chat with their own words. So for this reason, I decided to include this image, which is a screenshot taken from the LMS or from Google Classroom, and particularly from this activity culture map. So the idea is that students in this second activity had to use a language that everybody could understand. The third one was production activity. So students had to record a 30-second audio file using the application Bukaru in order to answer the following question: which school system from the video was the most interesting for you and why? So for this reason, I decided to include this image, which is a screenshot from that production activity. Now I would like to show you that. So this is the environment that I decided to create with the name of the session, Daily Routines and School Days in Other Countries. I started sharing the introduction, and they had the chance to join and to comment about it. So as you can see, I included a picture about it, and in this part, we have all the activities. For example, the first one, it was the creation. We have the instruction here, and the students had the opportunity to choose one country to create their slide. And in this section, I could control the contributions, right? As you can see, they had the chance to create a slide about a country. The second one, let's analyze the second one. It was the vocabulary discovery. So in the instructions, they had the chance to comment about it. So for example, they define resilience, holistic, discipline, resources. In the third one, they had the production activity. So they used the application Bukaru in order to record the audio files. So they sent their audios in MP3 format. So it was interesting for them too. Let's return to the lesson plan. After that, we have the development or the during task activities. Remember that as I told you at the beginning, I divided this section into three parts according to the three communicative skills. So the first one was reading, where I had the opportunity to present them this document. It was the document that I present them with the reading. This is the same that I have there, including this image. So they had the opportunity to know a little bit more about the routines of South Korea, Finland, Kenya, and Japan. And also, another important part is that I included information related to the indigenous communities in Colombia so that students could consider uh, the, those people, in while studying English. So it was very interesting to rescue that part of our heritage and our history. After that, after the reading section, they had the opportunity to reflect a little bit about it. And we start with the listening activity. The listening activity was divided into two parts. Firstly, they had a video on YouTube called listening practice routines around the world. So they had to watch it. They had to watch it, and after that, they had to answer to some questions. The part A contained open-ended questions for the students with the highest levels, and the part B multiple choice questions. An important detail is that I also include the UDL strategy, Universal um, Design of Learning. If I'm not wrong, in Spanish is the famous DUA, Diseño Universal de Aprendizaje. So in this one, students could use the captions or subtitles in order to understand this video in a better way. Also, all the exercises were considered or taken into account, um, and they were aligned to that focus too. So after that, we had the activity number two. It was another listening activity where they had an audio file, which is here, where students had the opportunity to listen to some people discussing and speaking about their routines and with different accents. So all of them were speaking in English, but with their particular accents. People from India, from Russia, from the US. So it was very interesting for them because they could like find funny and also interesting that people could have such different accents even if they are speaking the same language, in this case English. So also after listening to that, they had the opportunity to answer to some questions. And I had also a picture about it here, which was generated with AI. After that, we got the writing activity, which was also divided into two parts. The first one was intercultural comparison. In this one, students had to fill up a comparative chart using the application Google Documents. The purpose was to contrast their local Colombian routine with the other routines that we discussed previously. So this is the document that we were using in class. So the students had the opportunity to answer a little bit about it. After that, they had a free composition exercise, and also the students used the same document in order to write a 100-word paragraph about the topic. It was like a kind of reflection. Finally, we have the post task activity. In the post task activity, I divided it into two parts. The first one is like a forum, and it is a reflection time about international routines. In this section, the objective is to highlight common errors from the writing task. This is like the grammar part. For example, in Japan have long school days. It would be better if they say in Japan they have long school days. And the second one was a reflection discussion. So I used the resource Padlet in order to generate another environment that we could use in order to insert the questions and the discussions so we could see like in real life and in a single environment all the information together. So the objective of the second activity was to reflect on the cultural differences and our routines and how we could reduce the cultural gap. Also, I proposed these three questions. What culture has more advantages or disadvantages for attending school and receiving education? The second one, what do you think about the Colombian indigenous routine for life and education? And finally, is a hard routine necessary for success? So I would like to show you the environment that we use here. So this is the Padlet that I created with the grammar approach, the question one, question two, and question three. We don't have answers because this is the post session activities. So the students were supposed to do it later after this video. And finally, we got the references here, citing and using the APA standards with or in order to citate the content, the images, and the resources that I used. Finally, I would like to show you some evidence of the session development, the online session that we had with the students. So in this case, we can see this one, this picture performing the reading part, the reading session. Another one having the listening activity. After that, this one performing the second listening activity and also resolving the questions together. After that, in this one, in this screenshot, we have the solution of the dialogue with different accents or the recognition of the audio file. After that, we have the writing activity, the first part. This one is the second part of that. That is the personal composition that we were doing it together too. And finally, the explanation of the post-task activity. And as you can see, I was informing them about it. So that's all for the lesson plan. Before finishing this video, I would like to say a particular reflection about the general topic. And it is that after integrating the flipped classroom approach with the task-based intercultural teaching TBIT model, this lesson plan helped students have an interesting experience from the pre-class activities to the development of the session. They were able to analyze the diverse school routines and daily lives of people in countries like Japan, Kenya, Finland, and indigenous Colombian communities. With all the activities, they used English as a meaningful bridge to explore intercultural values rather than just practicing isolated grammar. This pedagogical approach finished with a comparative reflection where students do not simply acquire linguistic proficiency, but also develop a deep sense of global citizenship